This is Clyde's Honest Reviews, where I have a strict set of rules that I follow upon reviewing new and old titles alike. What's important to you guys is important to me. And the biggest factor in recommending a video game, in my opinion, is the amount of entertainment I can get for my money, which leads to the main factors of my review system. The pros, the cons, the potential, and most importantly, my gameplay hours, or likely gameplay hours, versus the overall cost of the game. Why did I make this system? Because I got tired of people recommending a video game based off of mechanics or content of the story alone. Sure, a good story and mechanics will go a long way. But if your game's only fun for 10 hours, or I can 100% complete the game with all the achievements within 30 hours, I shouldn't be paying $60 for it. What's going on, everybody? This is Clydean Fair, and first and foremost, I want to welcome you all to the channel. We're going to be pushing the rest of the fluff and stuff off to the side for now, and dig straight into the content, since that's what you're here for. Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord is a game that was originally released in early access in 2020, but it was officially released last week. In it, the player is presented with a sandbox medieval world where the ultimate goal is mostly up to their imagination. The player is in charge of managing a mercenary company that is struggling to get by in a war-torn world. There is some emphasis on food and economy management, but nothing along the likes of games such as War Tales or Battle Brothers. There's also army management, where the player is able to tier up his units as they gain experience and directly manage companion levels, and, of course, there is combat. There are two main phases of this game. The one phase is mostly viewed over the overworld map, and then the other phase would be battles. The overworld map is very similar to other games of note such as War Tales or Battle Brothers. The player's party is a small figure that's able to travel around the countryside, and neutral, friendly, and enemy parties roam around and are visible as well. While the time cycles between day and night, the player's dinners, or money, and food will be reduced as they pay their troops wages and feed their bellies. If a player goes too long without paying their troops or feeding them, they will begin deserting. This can be monitored through the morale icon and value in the bottom right corner of the screen. As for battles, the player is in direct control of the character and will find themselves using a first or third person viewpoint to fight in a hack and slash directional combat system, or picking up a bow, crossbow, throwing weapon, and pelting enemies from afar. Player is also able to issue commands and change formations of their units. These commands are issued through the use of hotkeys assigned to the F buttons, as well as a helpful UI that shows what each button does. I'm personally not a big fan of the command issue changes, as in previous installments the player was able to delegate a specific unit type, i.e. Swadian Sergeants, to its own formation assignment. As of right now, I've not found a way to mimic that feature, and it really detracts from my ability to assign spearmen on the flanks of my army to prevent a cavalry charge. As for the core game loop, there are multiple ways to play Mountain Blade, and veterans of the franchise will find that it holds true for Bannerlord. Players can amass an army and raid and plunder villages, besiege castles, take over the world, or simply play as a traveling merchant or blacksmith, or a traveling tournament knight. I found that blacksmithing seems to break the game's economy, as it essentially works as an infinite money supply, assuming the player is willing to spend some time grinding away at it. That being said, I do enjoy custom designing a weapon to use and being able to name it for my character and companions. Tournaments have also become more lucrative in Bannerlord. Unlike in previous installments, tournaments no longer award a flat cash prize, although betting on yourself still gives you a large sum assuming you win the tournament. However, they now award a piece of equipment. This can vary between pauldrons to a mount. Due to this, players can get a pretty solid set of starting gear without much investment, so long as they're able to win tournaments, that is. As for the taking over the world portion, players can choose to create their own country or join a country as a lord or a mercenary. Multiple parties can form an army by joining up and sieging down enemy castles and towns. Siege battles are pretty neat in Bannerlord, since the player can now see siege equipment and use it for themselves. As for defending, the player in garrison will focus on holding the walls and fending off the invaders. Once a castle or town has been captured by the player, as in the player owns it from it being gifted to them from their lord, or the player themselves is a king or country leader and takes it for themselves, the player can then station troops to defend the castle or town from enemies. Of course, this is all just in the base game. One thing that previous installments, especially Mount & Blade Warband, is well known for is the modding community. Now that there's an official release branch, I expect more mods to be developed and released, which will increase the overall longevity of the title and gameplay hours, at least in my case. Overall, I believe the current combination of features that Bannerlord has added from previous installments is a great thing, and I look forward to seeing what new features and expansions modders bring to the table. So, for a quick recap, the pros: solid graphics, amazing modding potential, and combat commands and formations are based. There's not another game or title on the market that comes close. The cons: I just want a little bit more customization and unit assignment for formations. Time to cost. Here it is. The main factor, the bottom line, the ultimate truth, your hour to dollar ratio. Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord is for sale at around $50 without any sales or discounts, which is a decently large chunk of change. That being said, the sheer amount of content in it definitely makes it feel like a good value. I currently have over 250 hours in the game at the recording of this video, and I know that my hour count will continue to increase as mods get developed and I explore their releases. I honestly can't give a good estimate of hours I will put into Bannerlord, since I haven't even begun to scratch the rabbit hole that is the modding of the game. That being said, currently I'm at over 5 hours of entertainment per dollar spent. Needless to say, that's a fantastic rating. If you still think that that's a little steep on the price, I suggest waiting for a sale and picking it up then, but I can easily say that if you enjoy this type of strategy game, you are going to love Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord. I'd like to thank you all for sticking around for the video, and if you enjoyed this type of content and would like to see more review videos such as this, like the video, leave a comment giving me feedback on how you'd like to see the videos improve, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can actually, see when the videos come out, and more importantly, when I go live on Thursdays and Sundays, streaming various games that I've even done reviews on. I don't know why I'm still whispering. It's just to make sure you guys are paying attention. Until next time, have a good one.